Hello, welcome to the first episode of the Burlesque Bulletin Podcast. My name is Honey Holloway and I am your hostess with the mostess right now. The mostess because this is a solo episode. I'll just be introducing myself and we can have a little chat and I'll let you know what's happening on the other episodes. So I'm so happy that you've joined, that you're listening. I really, really appreciate it. I just want to first apologize if you can hear any rain or any other noise. I do not have the professional studio yet. It is just me, myself and I filming, recording this episode for you guys. I initially wasn't going to record this because it's not about me. I'm talking to the most amazing performers and producers and event coordinators and photographers in the Burley community, and I am a mere beginner. I have been in the burlesque scene and community and supporting for over or almost 10 years now, but I'm definitely a beginner, and so I didn't really want to make it about me, but I thought if I'm going to be asking everyone else those questions and delving into their life, I probably should tell you a little bit about me and how I got here and how I got into burlesque. So that is why this episode exists. I'm also incredibly uncomfortable talking about myself to more than like one or two people, so this is a bit of a challenge for me, but hopefully you'll be patient with me and I can take you on a little journey about my little old life. So first and foremost, I have to ask everyone this question, and it is if they know their zodiac sign or their sun, moon, rising. And this question's really important to me because I have a background in all things that are woo-woo, witchy, spiritual. I started my spiritual practice at quite a young age, within Wicca and witchcraft and all things weird, which is not weird these days, which is fabulous because, learning all about those things when I was 14 years old was definitely strange. But now I can share it with everyone and we can talk about astrology and we can talk about weird, wonderful things. So that's why I feel like I have to have that question first. Also, it's a little bit of an icebreaker and it's a bit of fun. And I love to get to know people, get to know a bit of their energy and what we can kind of expect from the interview, which will be fun. And also during COVID, I had a little side hustle of a podcast, an astrology podcast called The 13th Sign. And so that was how I got into filming podcasts as well and got more in depth into studying astrology, where I did and do still practice astrology and do readings for people. Not so much these days because I'm doing a billion other things, but it is something that's very close to my heart and definitely a big spiritual practice for me. I almost forgot to say my sun, moon and rising. I got distracted talking about astrology, but so I'm a Taurus sun, a Scorpio moon, and a Scorpio rising. So how did I get into burlesque? Well, that is a long story of ins and outs and ups and downs, but the gist is I've always loved vintage things. I've always loved vintage clothes, architecture. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with all those different shows. I loved Charmed because of the amazing architecture that the manor had, and I've just always loved old things. And during high school, I started getting into old movies and specifically pinup. So if you don't know what pinup is, it's essentially dressing in 1950s, 1940s or vintage fashion. And it involves sometimes modeling, which is fun. It involves going to festivals, doing parades, doing competitions sometimes. And it's really just a beautiful community, or my interpretation and experience with that community was absolutely amazing. And I did some competitions, some pageants, and I was lucky enough to win the title of, I think it was 2015, Garter Belts and Gasoline, the last one. It doesn't exist anymore, which is so sad because that has such a special place in my heart. And I won that little competition by doing a burlesque routine, very PG burlesque routine. For that festival. So that was my introduction to performing, specifically performing. I'd known and researched about burlesque in my young teenage years. I was avid and am an avid lover of theatre, musicals, of course, Chicago, obviously. And when I was in late high school, the movie Burlesque came out, which at that stage, I knew what burlesque was. And when I went to see that movie, I was like, oh, cool. So where's the burlesque? Like, there was like one snippet or one act that was burlesque, and that was it. So I was a little bit disappointed because I knew what burlesque was going into seeing that movie. But I am not ashamed to admit that is still one of my favorite movies. It's not great, but it's also great because it has Stanley Tucci, it has Christina Aguilera, it has Cher, obviously, like Kristen Bell. Oh my God, literally the most amazing actors in that movie. And even though it isn't really about burlesque, it is still one of my favorite movies and was a big introduction for me to more burlesque stuff. So yeah, but anyways, fast forward to when I won the Garter Belts and Gasoline Festival. I, with my prize pack, I won amazing things, but one of them was a 6-week course at the Bombshell Burlesque Academy. And on the week that I had my first class, I was also playing netball at the time, and I managed to fracture my foot. So I still went to the class, even though that was such a dumb decision. I went to the class because I wanted to so bad, and I had for years. But going to the class, I thought I was healed enough. I was not. And still to this day, my foot plays up. And it was incredibly frustrating and defeating and just awful. But I had to heal, and I didn't actually go back for a really long time because of so many reasons, but I just felt really defeated. And I was like, my one chance to do what I love, and I can't. And I did continue to practice at home, and I always do. And I have since I was a kid. I've always loved dance. And I would dance in my room to Chicago or to Burlesque soundtrack, the Burlesque soundtrack, when I was younger, and it was my happiest place. But never in a billion years did I think I would actually be confident enough or want to put that out in the open on stage. Like, it was like my dirty little secret of how much I loved dance and would dance literally every day coming home from school, from 3:30, 4 o'clock till dinner time, and sometimes even after that I would just dance, and I loved it. So finally getting into a class and then hurting my foot and everything, that was a really big thing for me, and it took me a long time to sort of get over it, literally and mentally. And I thought, oh God, maybe I'm not meant to do this. I've already got an injury, like I've already fucked it up. Yeah, but I still danced, and I still did what I love by myself at home. And during this time, I sort of started drifting away a little bit from the pinup community. I was going through a lot mentally and through body image and everything, because I always had a little bit of an issue with that, and struggling with that throughout my high school years and continuously, and still to this day. So yeah, I was sort of mentally battling with dressing vintage and pinup every day. It became a thing where I felt like I had to dress up in pinup and vintage every day, and I had to be perfect. And so that sort of went down a little bit of a bad path. So I decided to stop and just sort of heal my mind and dress in normal clothes, which was very strange as I had been dressing in vintage for, like 4 or 6 years at that point, something like that. So I just wanted to find myself without pinup and without vintage. But my love for it never disappeared. I would still dress up every now and again when I felt like I really wanted to, or I felt called to, or I would go to certain events and I wanted to, I would do it. I didn't want to have to do it every single day to feel beautiful. So that was my little healing journey with that, which I still to this day am dealing with. So I was only 21 at that point when I had hurt my foot and everything like that. And I just moved to Brisbane. And I had also got into film school and started my first relationship. So everything was all happening. I was figuring out myself. I was figuring out my life and what I wanted and everything. And for the next few years, I was just figuring it out. And burlesque and pinup and all that sort of stuff was sort of put on the back burner. I still love to be creative, but it was very sort of here and there. I also was dealing with a lot within my relationship. I recorded this so many times and it's really hard to talk about still. I was dealing with a lot within my relationship and my partner was dealing with a lot. And that took up a lot of my time and my mental capacity. But it is a massive, massive part of my life and my story. And my partner passed away in 2018. And so the next few years for me were really about healing. So to be honest, I didn't listen to music for years. I didn't do a lot of things for years because I was just focused on surviving and that's all I could do. And during that time I did find astrology again, and that was a really healing thing for me and a beautiful thing. It was not easy. It isn't easy. It's still really freaking hard for me to talk about. I've also filmed this multiple times, and it's the first one I'm doing without crying, so that's really big for me. So anyways, I was dealing with that. My dad also passed away less than a year later. So the past a billion years, what feels like a billion years for me, has just been, surviving. And I'm happy to say that I feel like I can finally breathe, and I've been finally ready to do more creative things. A couple of years ago, I met an amazing, beautiful person who definitely changed my life in many ways. One of them being she got me back into burlesque. So she started burlesque during the time that we were seeing each other, and it really just sort of threw me back into that world, and I found a love for it again. And that sort of sparked the journey of me stepping back on the bandwagon, I guess, and getting back into dancing again. So that was a really beautiful thing, and a very healing thing for me, because music is very healing for me, as it is with a lot of people. Also, this person who is very special to me and near and dear to my heart is also on the first episode. She definitely had to be on the first episode because she is such a pivotal journey. She's such a pivotal part of my journey back into burlesque. And she was also the person who encouraged me to get back into it. And she was producing a show and asked me to MC and perform and do astrology readings during the show. So that was a lot for me, but it pushed me out of my comfort zone and back into burlesque and made me realize how much I enjoy it. And so that solo was at the start of 2023. And so I've really just been back into all the fun things and all the burly things within the last year. And that was sort of one of the catalysts for me doing this podcast. So how did I choose my stage name? Well, it took me a while, but I chose it during when I was doing pinup competitions and everything. And I chose it because I wanted something that was fun and cute and innocent, but then also a little bit sexy. So I was watching Mad Men at the time, and I also was a legal secretary at the time. So I chose Holloway from Joan Holloway from Mad Men. She also had red hair or orange hair, and back in the day I had blonde hair. I never intend to go orange, but it just sort of happened. So I feel like I've morphed a little bit more into Joan Holloway vibes. But yeah, and Honey was just cute and worked with the HH. So yeah, I don't 100% love it all the time. I definitely have thought about changing it since going from my pinup stuff to my burlesque stuff, but people know me as Honey. So many people who are in the burlesque community now have been in the pinup vintage community, and I know them from that area. So people know me as Honey. I'm just going to keep it. It's a part of me, even though I feel like I have changed quite a lot. My vibe has changed, but in the future, I guess I hate it, I can just change it. But for right now, I still do love it. It is a part of me. So yeah, that's how I chose my name. So what does a normal day look like for you? Well, my muggle life, I have many jobs. I have never been the type of person to have one job and enjoy my life. I have to do many things. I have to do many creative things. Maybe it's my Venus, my Gemini Venus. But yeah, I just can't do one thing. So I have one job that I have 2 to 3 days a week. I love health and fitness and all that sort of stuff. So that's sort of what my day-to-day focuses on. I love going on walks. I love getting outside. I love going to the gym. I love dancing, obviously. So I feel like my life does focus on my physical health, my mental health, my spiritual health as well. And I also, have multiple jobs. If you could travel back in time and talk to yourself when you first started burlesque, what would you say? I don't regret anything, and I think everything happens when it's meant to happen. Although I do wish that I started burlesque back when I was 21 and I actually continued. In some way, I feel like I would be a lot further along and would have learnt a lot more and practiced a lot more. But also, there's no way in hell I think I would have been able to deal with everything that I have been dealing with in the last 5 years and do burlesque on the side. There's literally no way I could have mentally, emotionally, physically done that. So I feel like I have learned a lot within the last 5 years about myself, about what's important, about how short life is, and also how serious life doesn't need to be or can be. So I've just obviously learned a lot of things. It's the 5 years of realizing things. So yeah, I feel like I've had to go through all this stuff to finally be like, yes, I'm actually going to get on stage and I'm actually going to give burlesque a go. I'm also a perfectionist. So it's really hard for me to just put something out there that isn't perfect. But I think that's what I love about the process of creating an act and performing it, because it's like every chance you get on stage is a new chance to do it better. And it's never going to be 100% perfect. You always have to work on it. And that's what I love about it. It's taken me a long time to love that about burlesque and about performing. So yeah, if I could choose someone to share a dressing room with, who would it be? That's a really hard question. I feel like I have so many people that I could definitely learn from. But the first person that does come to mind is Marilyn Monroe, only because I have always loved Marilyn, and I just would love to talk to her and chat about her life and what she thought about life and things. And she was so smart, and I just would love to have a conversation with her and share a dressing room with her. That would be amazing. I think I would get lots of tips and tricks. Burlesque specifically, I've said this before, but Medianoche has been in the industry for so long and is such a wealth of knowledge. So I think I would just get so many tips and tricks from her. She does share a lot on Instagram, which I think is amazing and so important for everyone. But yeah, I don't know, being in a change room with her would be absolutely amazing. I probably would be incredibly intimidated though, to be honest. I don't know if I'd be able to relax. But she just seems like such a genuine, amazing person. So what is some of my weaknesses and some of my strengths? Well, I think one of my strengths maybe is just being creative in general. I find that comes really naturally for me. As I said, when I was a kid, I used to make up dances all the time. And that would include the outfit and, the dance and the everything really. So I'm quite a visual person and I'm always thinking about new ideas and all the creative things are going on in my head. So I feel like sometimes I have some really good concepts. That also leads into my weaknesses, which I have a few. But one of the main things is just, I think, my follow through. I have so many amazing ideas, but I get in my head a lot. I am a perfectionist and I feel like it needs to be perfect before it sees the light of day, which I am struggling with and I am continuing to work on. So that's definitely one of my weaknesses, which I'm trying to work on. And it isn't easy. Imposter syndrome is definitely a thing that I deal with every second of every day, but I think it does get better the more you practice and the more you just push yourself and the more you put yourself out of your comfort zone, which is what I'm trying to do. It's hard. It's definitely not easy, but yeah, I think once I get through the imposter syndrome and the just challenge of it all and having people see and somewhat judge your creativity, it's a bit difficult, but yeah, I think that's some of my strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so now that we've done all the questions, we're going to play this or that. So if you haven't played this game before, it's incredibly easy. You just choose which one you like better, this or that. Okay, rhinestones or feathers? I'm going to go rhinestones because I hate when feathers get all over the place. C-string or G-string? Probably G-string because I haven't been game enough to wear a C-string yet, so I'm not even a fan of G-strings, to be honest. It's probably a controversial opinion. I don't know. Some people seem to love G-strings. I absolutely hate them. They're not comfortable for me. I don't wear them day to day. They're literally just so uncomfortable. And so many people are like, oh, you've got to wear them. You've just got to get used to it. I haven't got to that stage. I don't think I will ever get to that stage. If I wear G-string on stage, it'll be for 2 seconds. Like, I'm not wearing that on my day-to-day. Sorry. So sorry. I love a sparkly panty. I love a high-waisted, makes my butt look good situation. That's my go-to. Neo or classic? As much as my solo was more neo and more just a bit different to my usual stuff, I absolutely love classic. It's like where my love for vintage and burlesque and everything came from. So I just have to say classic. Boa or feather fans? I have yet to use feather fans, so I would say boa because I've found a new love for it, which is very surprising. I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I do, but I love a boa. Lace or leather? I would definitely say lace because leather is just too complicated. I'm a comfy gal. I don't like to be uncomfortable for too long. So I love leather, but it's too much. I love lace. Lace is better. Tassels or assels? I love an assel, but I think I'm gonna go tassels. Just the classic. On me, I love a little tassel. Assels, it's always a surprise when I see them. I love it. But I haven't really used them yet, so I would say tassels. Diamonds or pearls? I would actually say pearls. I don't wear them so much these days, but I do just prefer Pearls, I don't know why. Drag or burlesque? It's obvious, burlesque. Even though I love drag, I'm obsessed. I remember seeing my first ever drag queen who was dressed up like Marilyn Monroe, and I was like, oh my God, she is amazing. I want to be her best friend. Like, I need to know where she's going, where she's performing, what she's doing. I have just always been obsessed with drag. But burlesque has a little special place in my heart. Stocking peels or stripper heels? Definitely stocking peels. It's just a classic. I love stripper heels, but I'm also terrible with walking in heels. Dancing in heels, also not great. So the shorter the heel, the better for me personally. Once again, comfort. But stocking peels just is so sexy. Big stage show or intimate bar show? This is kind of hard. I love a big stage show. It is all like glitzy and glamorous, but you can't really see many faces, or they're just a sea of faces. So that's kind of good, because an intimate bar show, you're like, oh, hello, I can see my friend right there, or this person, or this guy that's staring directly at me and not clapping and not wooing. That's a little bit more intimidating. So I think maybe a big stage show, just because I don't have to look people directly in the eye. Cabaret or comedy? I would say a bit of both, but again, I'm going to choose cabaret. Movies or TV series? I would say I'm a series gal. I love a good long series. Always been obsessed with Charmed, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, still my OGs. Currently obsessed with Outlander, even though I haven't seen the latest season, which I don't want to talk about it because I'm sad. But yeah, stuff like that with a really long, like 25 episode per season. I love. A movie, I just feel like I don't get enough substance in a movie. It's just like you can't get the amount of depth that you get in a season. So I'd love a season. Early bird or night owl? I'm kind of in between. I can't stay up late because I'm tired but I also can't get up early. So I'm kind of in that middle ground of like, I get up at 8-ish or 9 if I'm sleeping in. And I like a slow morning. I like a slow morning start. I don't like to be stressed. But I do love a good schedule. So I kind of do still want to be in bed by like 11, absolute 12 max. But yeah, I'm just a tired gal most of the time. So I'm sort of in the middle. Sweet or savory? I am definitely a savory girl. I don't have a huge sweet tooth. I do love a bit of chocolate, a bit of caramel. Like, I'm obsessed with Biscoff at the moment. But I've just always been a savory gal. I would rather, if you gave me a choice between burgers and ice cream, I'm going to go with the burger. I'm going to go with the fries. I'm going to go with maybe like a little burrito or something. Like, yeah, not a cake gal. I'm sorry. Maybe some ice cream, but yeah, I savory all the way. Halloween or Christmas? Definitely Halloween. I absolutely hate Christmas for many different reasons. Just the aesthetic, like green and red are great separately. Together, not so much. Like, I love a white Christmas vibe. But I just don't vibe with it. Halloween is the place to be for me. I love everything witchy. I love everything spooky. I love everything orange and black. So definitely Halloween is like the best thing ever. And I love celebrating All Hallows Eve as well. Yeah, just Yule and Christmas. Not a huge love for it, but whatever. Definitely Halloween. Red or white wine? I don't actually like wine at all. I've tried to like red wine. I've found one or two that I kind of like. I'm Italian, so I feel like I need to like wine. I need to like red wine. But fun fact, my pot was actually allergic to wine, specifically red wine. So I feel like I'm weirdly sensitive to it. I get like very flushed in the face when I have red wine more than any other alcohol. So I feel like I'm slightly intolerant to it. but I don't really like wine in general. Cocktails or beer? Definitely cocktails. I'm not a beer gal either. I have tried to like many beers. My partner is a bartender, so I feel like I've tried all the beers that he thinks that I would like, and I don't. I can deal with the shandy. That's about it. But yeah, I love a cocktail. I'm more of an espresso martini gal. Anything too sweet, I can't really drink consistently. But I've just recently realized that I love Frangelico. I think that's how you say it. It's like hazelnut. It's amazing. And even better, like an hazelnut espresso martini, my new favorite thing. Well, that's it from me. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode, the first episode of the Burlesque Bulletin Podcast. Stay tuned for some incredible new episodes talking to some amazing artists, performers, photographers, event coordinators, producers. We've got some incredible people lined up, so please stay tuned for that. Also, if you prefer to watch your podcasts, we actually will be filming the next episode. So this is the first and last recorded only episode, and the next ones will be over Zoom, and then the next ones will be in studio at Attree Studios. So that's very exciting. So head over to our YouTube channel if you would like to see us in the visual. And also just a quick shout out to Attree Photography for letting us record at his studio and being the most amazing videographer, editor, and just friend and collaborator on this little project with me. I really, really appreciate everything he does. He is absolutely amazing. If you are in the area or coming to Brisbane and you want to shoot with an amazing photographer and videographer, please contact him. I know I've said it a billion times before, but he is incredible. And he's had over 25 years worth of experience in the photography industry, and also over 15 years in the burlesque industry. So head over to his website. We'll have all that information in the show notes. If you would like to follow the Burlesque Bulletin podcast on socials, we will have that linked below in the show notes and around somewhere in all the information. So please follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and of course, wherever you get your podcasts. We have a lot of amazing things lined up, so stay tuned for that. And if you want to be on the podcast, actually, you can head over to the Instagram. There is an application in our highlights. Feel free to put in your application and hopefully we will be in touch. Also, if you have anyone particular you would like to hear from on the podcast, please let us know over on our Instagram page, the Burlesque Bulletin. Any suggestions or feedback, we love to hear it. Good or bad, that's okay. We just want to get better. So any feedback would help us out a lot. Also, if you could give us a rating, 5 stars would be amazing. If not, that's totally fine. But yeah, it really just helps us know what you guys like to listen to. And yeah, just keep sharing and with anyone who you think would like this podcast or the YouTube videos, please send them, share them. Yeah, that would be absolutely amazing and help us out quite a lot. As we know, the algorithm, especially on Instagram, isn't our friend. So sharing and liking and engaging in the content and commenting is really important for our content to get out to other burlesque enthusiasts and lovers. Also, if you have any questions for our guests, please also let us know on the Instagram, DM me or comment on our latest posts, or the posts if you have someone specific that you would like the question to be answered by, please let us know as well. That would be absolutely amazing. And if you made it to the end of this episode, please leave a little comment, a little emoji, a little star, a little something to just show that we are on the right path and doing the right thing and providing something that you guys enjoy. Anyways, thank you again so much, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye.